Learning Hilchos Chametz U'Matzah, Perek Hey, Halacha Dezayin. The Rambam says, "Mayim sheroichsen bo hayadayim," the water that you wash your hands with, v'harivo arash eloshin, and the bowl within which you mix the dough. Mayim shemishtamshin bo b'shas lisho. Also, the water that was used, if there's anything left from it in the bowl, harizi yishofer v'mokim medurin, should be spilled out in a place where it will flow down into the ground, so that it should not gather in one place and become chometz. The Maya Mishnah cites the source, Sochem 40a. B rather. It says over there that the water that was used by the baker should be spilled out because they become chometz. So the Gemara asks the question, in the rice we find that you pour it out where it's on an incline, because not into a hole or a place that the mayim could gather together. In Braisa, we find it's mutter to spill them out where they will gather together. The Gemara answers that there's a lot of water, shashberin, yikavu visharu mukonosen oso, that if they're going to gather in a place and they will gather and they will stay there, it's also. But if they won't gather together, it's mutter to pour it even lashberin. So the Rif cites only the brisa, the first brisa, and not the difference between that's in the teretz. And he explains that not everyone is careful. And he adds the Rambam didn't make a differentiation between a lot of water or a little water. He only wrote they shouldn't gather together in one place. And from that we know that if it's a small amount, there's nothing to use it for, right? You can pour it out even where it's going to gather. And so writes the Rebbe Menoyach. But the Rebbe Rambam didn't want to be makel because Chometz is also a mashu, but he didn't want to. But in actuality, once it's on the ground, if it's a small amount of water, it's okay. Now, Shulchan Aruch writes, if he was making dough after the time we're not allowed to have chometz, the water that he uses before it becomes chometz, which water? The ones that you wash with and you clean out the bowl should not be spilled in a place. They didn't have like we have sewers. They used to have to throw it out someplace. It shouldn't gather together and become chometz. Therefore, the Mechaber emphasizes that's only after the time of chometz. Before the time of chometz, you can spill it out, even not in a place that's on an incline. But the Bach and the Taz are the opinion, even before Zman Issa, you shouldn't throw them in a chotzer because he might remain there even after the time of Issa. The Mishnah Berurah adds, after the time of Issa, you spill it out only in an incline, so they shouldn't gather in one place and become chometz. But to spill them Rishus Harabim, you can always spill them out. You don't care they become chometz because it's hefker. And he said once it became chometz, it was chometz in a place that's hefker. And he cites there are those that say that even Rishus Harabim, you shouldn't lechatchila spill it out where there's no incline. Once there's an issa chometz, and furthermore, that you should be careful with the leftover little particles of the dough, that they shouldn't become chometz in your possession. That's why we say apirurim iyu hefka. We're learning Perek Hey Halacha Yud Zayin. Hilchos Chametz U'Matzah. The Rambam says ein shiur is hamosin. You do not soak the grain. And place it before the birds. Shema yachmitz. Maybe it will become chometz. But we'll go down to the Peirush. But you can throw it into boiling hot water. If they had a way of doing which we don't have anymore, and you place it before them. And the Rambam continues, the majority of the inhabitants of the Jewish people have the custom not to use this boiling technique because we're not sure, maybe the water isn't at the boiling point that we're talking about. The Magen Mishnah references the Tzochem 39b, that you don't soak the grain for the birds, but you can place them in this hot water. The Rambam writes in his Peirush HaMeir, Moilson is the outer husk of the wheat that you soak in the water and you leave the targum either because otherwise it's too hard for them. But HaPesach, it's forbidden to soak it. Maybe it'll become chometz through the water. But you can place it in hot water or pour hot water on them and you don't have to worry about chometz. No Geroi V'Olam, the Rambam says that the custom of the majority of the world is not to use this process because lest the water not boil enough. And he explained in Halacha Gimel that even though Menika Adin, it's mutter to boil kemach, flour in hot water, in this process called chalito, and you don't worry about chometz. The world it was noig in Bovel and in Spain and all of the West to forbid it. Maybe the water wasn't heated enough. The Mishnah mentions Halacha Gimel that the Gaonim wrote, we do not know what chalita is. And therefore, you should not do this process of hot water either on flour or on kernels in water. Maybe the water will not have been boiled to the proper temperature, not used correctly. And we'll go on to the next halacha. Learning Hilchos Chametz U'Matzah Hey Halacha Yud Ches. Rambam writes, "Mutar lolush l'tanagol mosun kemach machino miyad." You can mix with mosun or flour right away, and you can give it to birds, to chicken seed right away. And oinesin of name. Now let's see. Machino miyad means you can give it to them to eat right away. Oinesin of name, where you place it in a vessel. And he makes sure that there's nothing left. And they eat it right away. After 18 minutes, there shouldn't be left any chometz. The entire time that they're pecking away at it, or he keeps on mixing it in the mixture, because we said if you work the flour, it doesn't become chometz. As soon as they finish eating, he should wash out the vessel with water, and he should pour it out on an incline. Maybe crumbs came into it. And the Magen Mishnah explains, it's mutter to bake with Hanagoyim Mosin. This is the das of some of the Machavim. And the Eitur writes, that's what the Eitur writes. And the Bavli writes, mutter lolush l'tanagoyim Mosin or kemach, like Rabbeinu. And there it's written, one should not rely on this. Because if he does so, if he lets the dough remain for hiloch middle, and therefore the Magen Mishnah did not find a source for this, why it's forbidden. They bring a book from a Tosefta, which we don't have, that why you can do it, and as long as it doesn't stay 18 minutes without being pecked at or without being mixed by the owner. Hayim says, as long as they happen to be pecking at it, it will not become chometz. It's just like any other person working on it. It doesn't become chometz as long as it's being agitated. But the Gemara says it's where he was left alone for 18 minutes. So it would seem, when the Rambam writes at the beginning of the Halacha, that you should stand there until there will be nothing left. For how long should it left without being used? Kedei hiluch mil. If nothing be left, stand around for 18 minutes. We have finished Halacha Yud Ches 18.